docket.
Can I just make one request, please, previously?
What is your request?
No. My client is here, he was set last Monday, it was recalled for today. Maybe it was set months ago. It's how
Okay, go to your mediation.
Well, it's gonna be maybe all day, Your Honor. And it's just a bond setting, that's all I'm here on.
Yeah, I call the docket and then we go on our.
Good jury. Good jury.
All right, everyone. Who are all the people in the outside in the corridor? All right, I'm going to call the docket. Everyone, today is Tuesday. Monday was a holiday, so that can only mean one thing. And what that means is today is actually a Monday and a Tuesday. So everyone, please be doubly patient. When I call your name, you need to let me know you are here. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you're not, and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Robert Chevalier. Thank you. Julie Clark.
Here.
Jose Romo. In custody, we have Carlos Narvaez. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Samuel Cisneros is in custody. In custody, we have Reno Corrales. Thank you. Fabian Vega. Carlos Romero. Robert Dale Hutnick. Valentin Ramos. Melissa, how do you pronounce that?
Castillo.
Thank you. The JA threw me off. Robert Sanchez. Robert Sanchez. Kamar Simpson. Kamar Simpson. Caleb Coleman Lee. Caleb Coleman Lee. Chardonnay Lockhart. Chardonnay Lockhart. Mario Carranza. Thank you. Manoa Whitton. Where is he? Thank you. In custody, we have Gage Waller, Benny Santos, Courtney Pride. Courtney Pride. Starlin Rodriguez. Henry Knight.
President of Council, Your Honor.
Thank you. Abel Gutierrez. Abel Gutierrez. John Deber. John Deber, thank you. Melvin Hernandez. Melvin Hernandez. In custody, we have Jesus Frega. Paul Perez.
Here.
Alfredo Rodriguez. Alfredo Rodriguez. Mario Miranda. In custody, we have Juan Carlos Torres Rivera. Arthur Beacham.
Who's present, Council, Your Honor?
Thank you. Jose Perez III. Jose Perez III. Darren Parker. Joel Cabrera. Brandon Castillo.
Who's present with Council, Your Honor? We're ready.
Okay. Isaiah Gonzalez is in custody. John Ramirez, custody. Roger Villarreal. Roger Villarreal. Corwin Campbell. David Newman. Marco Calendris. Marco Calendris. All right, anyone who came in late or your name was not called? Well, a lot of hands going up. We'll start here, yes? All right. All right, and Miss Pride, I did see you downstairs standing in line. How's the line moving out there? Okay. All right, and next to her?
Coleman.
All right. And who else on this side? Yes, Thomas Ortega. Could you stand up, please? Do you have an attorney? Do you know your case number or SID number? All right. Is there anyone else with you? Your mom? All right. So you need to make sure you know who your attorney is. This is very serious business, okay? But just remain there. We'll call you up in a moment to get your information. Thank you. Anyone else over here? Elizabeth what? Spell your last name. All right. Do you have an attorney? What is your attorney's name? All right, just remain there. We'll get with you. Still over here? Yes. Do you know who your attorney is? All right. Over here? Gilbert. Do you know who your attorney is? Okay. Greg Demaray. All right, these are the rules of the, yes. First name? Last name? Do you know who your attorney is? All right, just give us a moment. Anyone else? All right, these are the rules of the court. You will see to my left, probably your right, that's criminal trial division. Over here is family violence or SVU. They have files. I try to keep the courtroom as least congested as possible, especially in the well of the court. Flu has been running rampant. So what you need to do is just grab whatever your file is and sit it down on the prosecutor's table. First will go first, last will be last. The only exception to that rule is if someone needs a interpreter and then the interpreter trumps everybody and goes first. And the reason why that is because there's a shortage of interpreters and they need to move quickly. If you speak your client's language, I'm still going to need an interpreter down. If you have someone who is in custody, you need to let the deputies know. The deputies will bring them out for you. Once you've requested your client, do not leave the courtroom because that makes things more difficult for the deputies. Do not approach me if you have not conferred with the state and conferred with your client. And once you've done all those things, just approach the clerk. The clerk will place your file here, have a seat. I will call you again. First will be first. The only exception to that is if the person has an interpreter. So everyone, it's a busy day because it's Monday and it's Tuesday all rolled into one. Put some patience in your pocket. Take it out as needed. I know, guys, I know you have extra pocket in your suit coats. You see someone getting a little frustrated, just loan them some patience. All right, everyone, it's going to be a great day. Confer. Is there anyone here who is on the jury trial? Any jurors? All right, if there are jurors in the courtroom, you need to step out, and the people in the back, you need to find a seat. No, I didn't. Oh, yes, please. All right, thank you so much.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Never mind. Don't bother.
All right, thank you.
Right now.
John Deber.
Thank you.
Hello. Paul Perez.
So I don't actually. I work.
Alfredo Rodriguez.
Yes, they can sign it. They should find out properly.
I'm good. Okay. Whatever you want to put, judge about it.
Figure out what's happening today.
Yeah, when you're at that point.
Yeah, I'll just let you.
Oh, sorry.
Debbie? Debbie? I don't know if you all have issues with that. So if you want to see why he was on GPS to begin with. Thank you. You're welcome. Hello. Sure.
You know my pal, right, Reese.
Yes. Yeah.
She wants to come over and be one time with you in Dutch Hall.
Yeah, sure. Have her come over.
Okay, because what you don't know is that when you're at the, okay, marching and everything, that poster that is with the hands.
Yes.
Her daughter did that. And
Oh,
she was
wow.
in you and that's her part of it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, come on. Tell her to come out anytime.
She's in hospital.
Okay.
So but I just want to make sure.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Who's here on Robert Hutnick? And then after that, it will be Courtney Pride.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I filed a,
Just 1 second. Are there any jurors in the courtroom? If there are, you need to step outside. And who is the lady in the window? Standing outside, who is she? All right, so then you need to do that outside the courtroom and outside that little area. Thank you. Mr. Hutnick, come forward. So you have a motion for continuance?
That's correct, Judge.
All right. And there's an issue with discovery state, do you know? Because we're actually here for discovery.
Yes, Your Honor, I spoke with defense counsel. Daniel Escobar is actually handling it, but it's the one where they wanted the blood from the evidence room to retest and with their experts. My understanding of the defense counsel is that they finally have a contact at the evidence room to get that blood released for them.
Okay.
And so I think that's just elongating the process because it's a difficult thing to get done.
Okay. So, you have the contact information. So how long is it going to take for the next step as far as getting everything done?
We really should be close to getting it to the lab, which is a local lab. The only issue that's really just up to the court, I would say, is that the hiccup we have now is when I spoke to the detective at the property room, the detective at the property room basically told me that I needed to get the sample and bring it to the lab. Now, I mean, I know that I don't want to do that.
Well, no, I don't think you want to be a witness.
Correct. So now I guess I could get an investigator or something if the court prefers that.
I mean, they're releasing blood to just people.
Well, if it's a.
Could I get my mom to come down and take custody?
You signed an order, yes.
There.
So
So
my understanding is that, I mean, I've dealt with this.
All right, just one second. Excuse me, if you all over here could whisper, please. Yes.
Years ago, Judge, I dealt with it, something similar, but it was where it was released to defense counsel, which was surprising to me too, but then also I've had it to where if everything's supplied to the evidence room, like some type of, like a mail it, like certified or to that lab, I believe that's a process that they use. I believe the lab, whatever lab it may be, I don't know which lab it is, they should have some, I guess, if you want to call chain of custody, ways of receiving that blood. So that you might want to talk to the lab about that, the independent lab.
I think that mailing is definitely one option, Judge, but when I talked to QFT, who tests a lot of samples for the state and DPS, they said that SAPD has a courier they always send. I learned that after I talked to the detective.
Mhm.
So I don't know if maybe he's not thinking about the courier because it wasn't their idea to retest, but I mean, the perfect situation would be if they just send their courier over there, who I think brings them samples all the time.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll leave that up to y'all as far as where evidence is going to be and who's picking up what.
Yes, Judge.
So, I mean,
Understood.
that's where we are. All right, so when do we think this is going to happen?
I'd like to think that within a month, we could get that back. The only other thing is that the DPS lab report is also out, to our knowledge.
Okay, when is that going to be done?
That I can't illuminate. I mean, I think that it was requested about maybe 6 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
So
And what do you mean by the DPS lab?
like the litigation packet.
Oh, okay, the discovery factor.
Correct.
Oh, okay,
Not the blood discovery.
right, okay.
I don't know how long they are taking.
And I can check on that, Judge. I mean, it should be back. I mean, my understanding from previous experiences of it 60 days, but I mean, so if it's already been about 6 weeks, it should be coming in the next few weeks, if not sooner, hopefully.
All right, so I need a 30-day reset on Hutnick for discovery.
May I address one other issue, Judge?
Yes.
When we kind of popped in a couple weeks ago when I wanted to address Mr. Hutnick's ankle monitor, the court said it may take it up today at the next day. He missed court in the beginning, and that's not good, and that's why he has that ankle monitor on.
Do you have the motion?
It should be in the file.
Yeah, Judge, it should be in there. It's in the. It's full punching.
Okay. I see it. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Dinah. Appreciate it. You know, I just, Oh, I appreciate it, because I just got my allergy shot. So it's like, all right, so any objections to? All right. So I'm just being told that what he missed was not a regular miss. What he missed was jury trial date.
In impact court, that's correct. though.
Yeah, and then he was called up here. So,
Thank you.
He was called up here.
Yes, so I'm not inclined to remove the monitor. Because here's the thing, Mr. Hutnick. We're all adults, this is adult court. And I think that actions should have consequences. And your consequence for not reporting to impact court when you're up for trial is the monitor. And the other consequence for not coming up here when you were supposed to be up here is the monitor. So that's where we are. Is the monitor just tracking?
I think so.
All right, so it'll continue just to be tracking.
Your Honor, I mean, I missed court. Apparently, I guess, I was not properly informed that I was supposed to be there. My attorney never showed up in the court.
I know, and that's true. And I understand the court may have already ruled, but he has been here a few times since then, just so the court has all the information.
And I left because my mom was not, needed heart surgery and I needed to get her there. That
Okay.
was the main,
Well, you know,
reason that
the
I
thing
missed
is,
court.
communication is key. So what you're telling me,
I informed my attorney Dan about it, but.
but
I
here's the
don't know
thing,
what-
you're giving me two different stories. Your first story is you didn't know. Then your second story is I knew, but my mom was in the hospital, heard surgery. So could I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Hutnick?
Thank you, Judge.
March 27th.
All right, so we'll be back on March 27th for discovery. You're welcome.
Sure. Your Honor, can I briefly approach Bob?
Yes,
I have a vacation letter on file for that week. I could have any other week.
all right.
You can come back on the 20th.
Let me see. Are you available on the 20th?
Yes.
All right, so we'll put it on the 20th then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any jurors in the courtroom? If there are, you need to wait outside in the hallway. Courtney Pride. All right, so we're scheduled for jury trial. So if you all will be back here at 11:30.
Judge, I filed a motion for continuance. What's that?
Okay, am I missing something on this? Because it doesn't show. All it's showing is medications.
It's just, there's some indication there. He's been referred back to his oncologist.
If you want to show it to the court.
Sure.
There's indications there they went through neurosurgery.
All right, let me see.
And then there's a follow-up with oncologist. And the glioma was the primary diagnosis while we were talking last.
Okay. All right, y'all can step back. Court is calling 2022 CR 7550A. If you're in the box, please whisper. State of Texas versus Courtney Pride. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense.
Louis Martinez on behalf of Ms. Pride.
And are you Courtney Pride?
Yes.
All right, the defense has tendered a motion for continuance. State, have you had a chance to review it?
We have, Judge, the state would oppose because we have prepared for trial.
Defense.
And Judge, this is not just a delay tactic, Judge. She's having some health issues with her family. It's weighing heavily on her. Her family is in North Carolina. She's got a very close relationship with her brother. So we're asking for a short continuance, Judge. Even as short as 2 weeks would be fine. Preferably maybe 4 weeks.
When would she be going to North Carolina?
If you let her go right now, she'll be on the road within an hour, unless she's prepared to go as soon as the court resolves. It's the only reason she didn't go last week is because she had this court date then.
All right, and when is she expected to return?
About a week, Judge.
All right, so state, I understand that you're ready, but brother has brain cancer, it appears,
I understand, Judge.
and they are, I think, cases will be here.
I understand, Judge.
All right. So I'm going to grant your motion for continuance. And when this goes to trial, how long are you expecting the trial to last?
Maybe 2 days, Judge.
Maybe 2 days?
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Can you put Ms. Pride on the docket? It's for 2-day trial. We'll just say 3 days to be on the safe side.
I think she was fair, Judge.
Yes. Is that enough time, Ms. Pride? Okay. All right, everybody wants people to know they're with the Marines or the Army, okay? All right. All right, March 7th. Ms. Ferguson will give you a receipt.
And Judge, I'd asked on the order to also indicate that she's got permission to travel.
Yes. Any objections, state?
No.
All right, she has permission to travel to North Carolina. Is she on GPS?
No, Judge.
Okay. Well, I mean, the person you need to clear that with would be your bondsman.
Yes, ma'am.
And what dates? So you said today.
Yes, ma'am. So the 21st through.
All right, her jury trial date is March 7th. So I will just put on here. She has permission to travel from February 21st to March 5th, because I don't think it will take 2 days, more than 2 days to get back,
That's right.
even with stops. All right, I hope everything works out for your brother. Oh, thanks.
And then this one.
Yes. Who's here? I'm Brandon Castillo. Good morning. All right, and we're not on the record. All right, so I see that you all have agreed on a bond amount.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, are there any no contact orders?
Well, my understanding, Your Honor, I'd have to get, I'm sorry, it's at a hospital, so I don't know if I want to know contact in case there is an emergency purpose.
Well, I guess no contact unless emergencies.
Emergency.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
Just to be clear, Your Honor, do you want the specific hospital? Because there's, I know the hospital in question here.
no, that's fine. I mean, if he has an emergency to go there, I don't want to be the cause of anyone not getting medical attention.
That's the state's position, Your Honor.
All right, we will be back on March 27th. That's a preset date for discovery.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good day.
Yes, ma'am, you too.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Castillo, can you make sure all of his cases are set for March 27th? Yeah, and that's a discovery date.
Have a good day, Your Honor.
Thank you, you too.
If it's not.
And counsel, that's only for 2 cases, correct?
That is correct. Your
All
Honor.
right,
We'll work 10 on each page.
all right.
Your Honor.
Who's here on Manoa, Whitton? All right, if you can come forward. Okay, why does it have Joseph Stateson?
Because I got retained and filed my notice, but it hasn't hit the computer yet.
All right, hello. All right, what's happening on this case? Have you confirmed with the
Judge,
state?
I'm still haven't gotten all the discovery. If we can get a reset, let me get discovery on it. I've talked to the DA and
All right, what discovery are you missing?
everything. I haven't gotten anything from the state.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't hit the system yet because I just are not on the system, I guess.
Judge, he said he just filed the notice last night.
Yeah.
All right, recall this in 2 weeks.
March 7th.
All right, we're gonna come back on March
All
7th.
right, thank you, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you the reset form.
Yeah.
All right, if there's anyone in the courtroom who is a juror, you need to wait outside. Fabian Vega. Where is Mr. Eduardo Jimenez?
Judge, he just stepped down.
Oh, it is? Okay. Oh, just have a seat. And here's the rubber band. I keep stealing your rubber bands. Valentin Ramos. All right. All right, so what is happening here?
After much struggle, we finally got someone upstairs from PPD to accept all of his applications. Is that correct?
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, I need a PTD date, please. All right, We'll see you back on April 4th. Just get a reset form and you're excused. Thank you so much for the water. You know, they say when you take the allergy medicine, it dries you out. So trying to stay hydrated. All right, and normally we have some people here who are not on the docket. Thomas Ortega, can you come forward, please? All right, Ms. Ferguson, this is, just stand right there with Ms. Ferguson and she'll get you your information, okay? And Norma, could you make sure that you write it down for him? And he'll give it to his mom. Are you his mom?
It's my grandmother.
Your grandmother? Can you come forward, please? Okay, just give me a second. That's okay. Miss Ferguson speaks Spanish. All right, Miss Ferguson, can you let him know who his attorney is and let the grandmother know who his attorney is and give him a contact information? And Norma, if you'll let them know that if he wants his case on the docket before it's indicted, then he'll have to have his attorney set it. Elizabeth Macio, if you can come forward, please. And Norma, she thinks she's supposed to be on the docket as well. All right, if you'll speak with Ms. Ferguson. Anthony Cruz. If you come forward. Normally he says his attorney is Cornelius Cox. If you'll speak to the coordinator. Well, Dinah, Jamisa knows that everybody's trying to be on a healthy diet. And guess what she ended up posting? She's like, I had this Oreo cake cookie that everyone should try.
Don't listen to her and don't get it.
No.
Don't bring it here.
I am not doing it.
Don't do it.
I may do it and let you all try it to tell me if it's any good. All right, Gilbert Perryman. Gilbert Perryman. Christopher Costa. If you'll come forward, please. The court coordinator will check on your case. Anyone who's ready to proceed, just ask the clerk to place your file up. Who's here on Julie Clark?
Well, I'm looking to know.
Are y'all ready to proceed? All right, court is calling 2019 CR 621. I'm sorry. Court is calling 2019 CR 6231B, State of Texas versus Julie Clark. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Jorgens for the state.
Defense.
Ms. Clark.
And are you Miss Julie Clark?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Clark, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Julie Clark who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 6231B for the offense of forgery of a commercial instrument of check on October 24th, 2019 for a period of 3 years and extended for a period of 2 years. Is that you?
Yes.
State?
Your Honor, in this case, the state alleges in Bear County, Texas. Between the date the defendant, Julie Clark, was placed on community supervision and the date of filing hereof for restitution, the defendant should have remitted $6,850, but has only remitted $93 in violation of condition number 10F.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
We'll waive the remaining allegation, Your Honor.
Any objections to the waivers?
No, ma'am.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation 10F, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes,
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true
yes,
to violation of condition 10F?
yes.
All right, the court will find 10F true. Can we go off the record for a moment? Why do I have this case and it's from the 227th? All the documents say 227th on
It
it.
was transferred to the community. I don't know why myself, but it was transferred to you. It's possible that I'm getting some of those because the judge in that court now, that was a section chief of some of the cases, and so they're getting rid of those cases out of there and sending them to other courts. I don't know if that's this case.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, are you keeping up with the transfers? All right, is there an agreement?
Sure. Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is for the court to deny the motion to continue Ms. Clark on community supervision with the added conditions of the mentally impaired caseload placement, with the added condition of money management class, and with the added condition of the theft program level 2. For both of those classes, Your Honor, we're asking the court to order those to be completed within 60 days. And as a part of this agreement, we're asking the court to take into consideration CM number 105351.
All right, is that the agreement?
Yes.
Ms. Clark, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Clark, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Julie Clark.
All right, so Ms. Clark, I'm going to ask you some questions. And the reason why I'm asking you these questions is not to embarrass you, but it's to figure out what's going on in your life and what we can do to make sure that you complete everything successfully. So I'm being told that they want a mental health evaluation. What's going on?
I was in a 7-year abuse relationship, and it didn't end good at all. I almost died twice.
I'm sorry, what?
I almost died twice.
Okay,
So I have a little emotional problem.
all
And
right.
then I'm not from here. I have no family here except my daughters, but they're always working, and I have 5 grandkids. So I'm trying to change my life so I can get involved with them.
Okay, and where are you from?
North Carolina.
And Judge, there was already an evaluation done and they recommended the mid caseload.
All right, awesome. So are there any drug issues?
No,
And are you employed?
I am now.
All right, what do you do?
UTSA catering.
Oh, okay, what are you catering at UTSA?
All the events with this.
I
whole
teach at
weekend-
UTSA. Maybe I need to stop by and
Yeah.
do you
wherever
have any
it's
healthy
event.
food there?
Yes. Good. Where do you teach? I can take you stuff. Because I always try to get rid of it. I don't want to throw it away.
Oh, well, I
And
can't let
so I
you take
go
me
with the
anything.
kids, going down the hallway, trying to get rid with the kids.
Oh, wow, that is awesome that you do that, because you
Don't
know,
throw it away.
people don't realize college students are so poor.
Well, they're hungry.
I heard you had Oreo cake.
We have the best brownies, that's for sure.
Okay. All right, so the item that you pled true to, of course, is the money.
Mhm.
So we need to get you sort of on a payment plan for that.
Right.
So with regards to the monies, how much are you able to pay per month?
Well, I just started working,
Mhm.
but this week I put in 50 hours.
Okay,
So I want to try to give a couple hundred. I'm not gonna promise that though.
well, here's the thing. I don't want you to make promises you can't
That's what I
keep.
said, I'm not promising.
So based upon your salary, how much money can you pay per week?
Well-
I'm sorry, per month.
Okay, catering, you could get, like this week I did 50 hours. This week I could do 25. But I do make $17.75 an hour. So I'm gonna say anywhere from 30 to 50 hours I will work, so,
All right, so are you able to do at least 100 per month?
yes, yes.
All right, so probation, we're gonna start off with 100 per month,
Okay,
and we'll start that with next month, March.
okay. 'Cause I haven't got a first paycheck yet.
All right, because you need to start paying that off. And then even though you didn't plead true to the number one, you gotta stop, okay? So there can be no more picking up new charges. That's not a good thing. And I understand there may be, here's
Guilty
the
on that
thing.
one.
All right.
I understand there are probably issues with that one. That's why you didn't proceed on it. But I just want to put you on notice.
I honestly,
That-
God, I did not do that one.
Okay.
I know, but I didn't do that one.
I just want to put you on notice that in this court, you can't pick up new cases. And if there's an issue, then you need to speak with probation. In this court, communication is key. When people are on probation, I want them to be successful. Okay.
Okay, what if you get a charge, but you are really innocent?
That ever happens, which is.
So we're gonna get a UA from you today. So what are the results of the UA going to be?
Drugs or alcohol.
No, no.
Okay, so we're gonna do a UA today, and your UA appointments, you cannot miss those.
Right,
All right.
but am I going to the one I go with probation?
Oh, no, you're gonna do one right here in court today. So I'm gonna deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions. For MIG placement. I don't know if money management is an issue. I'll put money management on there. It seemed like the issue was she didn't have employment,
Right,
but I'll put money management class. Theft course. Level 2. I don't know what they teach at the theft course. I'm assuming they teach not to steal.
right.
And here's the thing, don't take what doesn't belong to you. If somebody invites you to the house and they ask you to leave, leave.
Right.
If you go to a party and you're a +1, but +1s are not invited, don't go.
Right.
That's my theft course. Taking consideration CM 10535. Was she given any community service?
No, that's it.
And I'm sorry, Judge, it's CM number 105351.
Oh, 105, what?
351.
351. Thank you. All right. Proof of employment within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Restitution to be paid at the rate of $100 per month, beginning March 1st. Do you babysit your grandchildren?
No, they're all growing up. They're in college. 3 of them's in college, and the baby is in turn 15 actually today.
All right, I'm gonna want field visits 1 time per month. Regular reporting in person or by Zoom. And regular UAs. Probation, is there anything else? All right. With that, we'll close. Make sure that you stay in communication with probation, you understand?
Yes.
And they're gonna get a UA today and let me know what the results are.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Thanks, Jason.
You want to stick around for you?
Yeah.
Corwin Campbell. Are there any jurors in the courtroom? If there are jurors in the courtroom, you need to wait outside. All right, so I don't know why we, let me see. All right, so this is for him to, we're here for him to get an attorney?
No, it's just, since he is now indigent because of his charge with his now death because of defending this case, losing his job. We would like the county to pay for miscellaneous expenses like subpoena fee, that's the main thing. And
any other related costs that may be associated with getting this case trial. And
Okay,
also,
you're whispering.
Also remove the monitor that is, reduce the charge of the monitor, that's another $300 a month. If you compare his income to his debt, he's minus $900 a month every month deficit. And a big part of that is the $300 GPS monitor he's paying.
All right, just one second. State, have you had a chance to read defense counsel's motion?
Read it in entirety, no, but I have looked over it, Judge.
All right.
The state's disposition to, I'm assuming this is just for.
No,
the-
I'll make a ruling without the state's input on his indigency.
Yeah.
But defense counsel has put what the defense is.
Right,
And so I'm
I
wondering-
have read that portion, and I mean, we're taking a factor, I guess, Judge. I mean, I see that like cameras and things like of that nature, but other than that, I mean, I don't believe that's, I guess, in front of the judge or the court today.
Mhm. All right, I understand what you're saying about him being indigent, but you're not coming to the court with any cost of anything. For example, with the investigator.
There's nothing owed at the present time, Your Honor. It's anticipated future costs, like we're going to be subpoenaing several people.
Well, who's the investigator? Is this investigator on
My
the,
private investigator.
is he on the indigent list? I mean, is he on the
Yes, he
list
is
of
on the
approved
appointed.
investigators? All right.
That's Johnny Rodriguez.
And then the GPS fees, of course, I will waive it. But what I can tell you is with regards to, I mean, are you asking for attorney's fees?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. So, sure, you filed the motions for an expert, for an investigator, and of course, the court will sign the motion for them to be paid. I don't. Is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, you need to come back on March 2nd. That's your plea deadline date.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's also lost 40 pounds.
Oh, hey, well, he needs to tell everybody what he did to do that. Caroline.
On this. So I didn't hear the indigent. But the meeting started is really. I'm just gonna waive GPS fees on this. The 2,000 is what I should. I'll take it up. All right, thanks.
Alfredo Rodriguez.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
I represent Mr. Rodriguez. I understand he hasn't appeared today.
All right, well, we'll go on the record with that. All right, could I have a prosecutor? And are there any jurors in the courtroom? If so, you need to step outside. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 0474, State of Texas versus Alfredo Rodriguez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Debbie Cruz on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, listen for the defense.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:13 a.m. Thank you. And the defendant has not made an appearance. Deputy Laura, was an announcement made for Alfredo Rodriguez?
Yes, it was, and there was my answer.
All right, defense, have you any contact with your client?
I have not, Your Honor.
State?
Your Honor, at this time, the state requested bond forfeiture.
All right, the court will issue a judge's warrant and remand your client without bond. If your client makes an appearance or you're able to get in touch with them, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Gilbert Perryman. Gilbert Perryman. Norma, can you look Gilbert Perryman up on the system? Yes. All right, and where is Marco Calendris?
Judge, we got notice of this compliance hearing late Friday, and we did not notify him. So he's in training today and cannot get out of work to be here. So my office did not notify him about it. And my pretrial has not notified him either.
I'm sorry, what?
Pretrial has not notified him either.
He needs to be here tomorrow. If he's not here, warrant will be issued.
Okay, I'll let him know.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, call Mr. Calendris for tomorrow. All right, and where is Ms. Zarka? Yes, tell her let's do her case. She has witnesses, I believe. Good morning. How you doing?
Too crazy and wild.
Ah,
No painting.
okay.
No talking.
All right. And has anyone called, Norma, has anyone called, no, well, Jimenez and also, Zarka?
Yes, I can call both of them.
Caleb Coleman. All right, where's the attorney? All right, thank you. All right, so where are we on this case?
So Judge, I called County Court 12 where the complainant has their open case. She just recently hired Gary Barton on Friday. Beforehand, they hadn't appointed anyone, but they got the notice of appearance on Friday. It still doesn't even show up in the system. But I called and the court forwarded it. And so we're just asking for time just because it's a defense attorney who's usually responsive. I can just reach out to them to see if the complaint is going to be agreeable to speak with them, because it'll answer a lot of questions.
All right, so we're gonna get some questions answered within the week. Is that doable, State?
That should be enough time, Judge. I just need to get in contact with the defense attorney.
All right, so we're gonna come back in a week. And Mr. Coleman, are you employed?
Yes, ma'am. I only currently get like $135.
Oh, no. I'm just asking if you're currently employed. And what are your hours? Do you have to work tomorrow? I mean,
Today, yes, ma'am.
all right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna recall this in 1 week. Ms. Ferguson, what date?
You can come back on Monday, just to tweet them.
All right, so we're gonna recall this on February 27th, and you can appear by Zoom.
Yes, ma'am. My birthday's on 26th.
Your birthday's on the 26th?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, happy birth month. I believe in celebrating the entire month. So we'll have, oh, you should. I always tell people, I know my mom was at least happy with everything I did for at least a month. Anytime a child smiles, everybody's like, oh my gosh, the baby's smiling, the baby's walking. So we all deserve to celebrate a month. So you can appear by Zoom on the 27th, so you won't miss any more work. And Ms. Ferguson will give you the Zoom link, and you've always dressed appropriately for court. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get a reset from for the 27th, just get a reset from Ms. Ferguson. She'll write on there that he can appear by Zoom. And we'll see you then and see where we are.
Our position on this has been pending for quite some time. He's trying to get into the military as a recruiter. He does want to go forward to trial. One of our biggest issues was getting the medicals, because there was conflict and, conflicting statements in the reports saying that she was injured. She submitted the pictures showing she was injured. So we wanted the medical records, but those have never been forthcoming. He just wants to move forward.
Oh, just 1 second. State on Coleman. Defense counsel is saying they've been waiting on medical records, and I'm assuming the medical records is for the complainant who has criminal charges.
Right, Judge, and that's been the issue.
All right, so we're gonna something's gonna happen on the 27th. All right, so you can be by Zoom because he's saying that he's waiting to go into the military. He can't because of this charge.
No, I understand.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, thank you. You're welcome. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset. Samuel Cisneros. Who's the attorney on Samuel? All right,
We're ready.
thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Court is calling 2018 CR 11301, State of Texas versus Samuel Cisneros. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Adrian
Defense?
Pettis.
All right. And are you Samuel Cisneros? I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Samuel Cisneros who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2018 CR 11301 for the offense of aggravated robbery on July 26, 2019 for a period of 10 years? Is that you? State?
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 1 on or about the 9th day of November 2022 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant Samuel Cisneros committed the offense of criminal mischief in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to life in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1? Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, there is, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
And that agreement is to deny the motion to an adjudication of guilt, continue the individual on as deferred, and to have him repeat the ISB gang unit supervision or, I'm sorry, the unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Judge, just to let you know that that criminal mischief was not filed. It is here in Bear County, but I don't believe that the complainant would be following through with that. And that's why we're not TIC in it at this point.
All right, defense, is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cisneros, are you asking the court to follow that agreement? Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, you need to speak up. All right, why are you not doing what you need to do on probation out of this court? Do you want to go to prison?
No, ma'am.
All right, because you're looking at life in prison. How old are you?
7.
You're 27. And this is a aggravated case. So what that means is you'll have to serve half the time before you're eligible for parole, even if they would give you parole, and they probably wouldn't give you parole on the first try. So if I were to sentence you to 20 years or 30 years, you'd have to do half for that. So you do the math. I don't tolerate people who come in and don't do what they're supposed to do on probation. People need to start learning that there are consequences for action. You understand? So what have you been doing with your life other than not doing well on probation? Because this is not the first time you've been here before me.
I've been trying to do what I have to do. But I'm getting MTR almost every time.
Oh, yeah, but here's the thing. You only get an MTR if you're doing what you're not supposed to be doing. So you have an MTR today because of criminal mischief. You had MTRs in the past for violations of 14 and 16. You don't want to act right. At least that's what my grandmother used to say. It's like, you got to act right.
I'm just, please give me another chance on my probation. I'm just completed. You will not see me.
I mean, that's what you said the last 2 times. I even wrote it. I write everything on the docket sheet. And the last time I saw you, you said the same thing. I don't know what people don't understand. Life really is easy. It really is. You know what's wrong with it though? People make it difficult. if you would follow the rules that are set for you on probation, you would not be here before me. But you won't. And the bad thing about it is I order parenting classes, so that tells me you have children. And how many do you have?
2,
And what are their ages?
9, and 7.
And you're not supporting them financially, obviously, because you've been at the jail. You're not providing a good role model for them because you're on deferred for what you're on deferred for, and you're at the jail picking up new cases. How are your children supposed to learn rules if you're not even following rules? When's the last time you saw your children?
2 weeks ago, before I got arrested. And God was with me. I take care of them.
Well, I mean, you're not doing a good job of taking care of them because you have this hanging over your head and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So while you're spending time with your children, you're getting a motion to revoke and looking at doing life in prison. And guess what? If I send you to prison for 10 years, your children will already be grown when you get out. Is that what you want? So what are you planning on doing differently?
The one that I gotta do on probation, take care of my kids, and do what I gotta do.
Okay, don't call them kids, call them children. Kids are baby goats.
Yeah, children.
So are your children living with you when you're not in custody? Who do they live with?
I get them every other weekend with them on.
Mhm. And what is with this gang supervision?
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, you know why people are saying game. You got that Louis Vuitton symbol on, and we all know what that means. And by the way, I don't think Louis Vuitton appreciates people using their designs as gang affiliation. You understand? And I don't know why people mark up their body with gang tattoos. When you do that, you know what that's like saying? You might as well write aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated robbery on your body. And maybe you would do better on probation if you would write that on your body and write, this is the length of time that I'm on probation. So you can look down at that every time you think about doing something you shouldn't be doing. Now, how are you going to support yourself?
I got a job,
Doing what?
construction.
You're gonna provide proof of employment, and that construction job, you need to tell them that this court is not gonna accept them paying you under the table. You need to have a pay stub to show probation that you're actually working. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include gang supervision. And let gang supervision know probation. Do not come to me with a motion asking to remove his gang supervision. He's going to be on it until he is off of probation. And either you will be off of probation because you've completed it successfully, or either you'll be off of probation because you'll be at the prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's going to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And the defendant is to provide a pay stub for his employment. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Who do you live with?
My older brother,
And how old is he?
29.
Where are your parents?
My mom found herself another husband and moved on.
All right, and where is your father?
In prison,
And where is your grandparents?
in Mexico.
All right, so there's going to be no unsupervised contact with minors. You're going to have to get a chaperone that's approved by probation. And once you presented yourself to me, where you're actually doing what you're supposed to do on probation, then the court will allow you and consider you having unsupervised contact with your children. But the way you're going right now, I can't have you around your children unless there's a competent adult. You understand? All right, and I'm going to want field visits 3 times per month. And probation, if you want those field visits to count as him reporting, he can do that. Is there anything else you need from this court to be successful on his probation? From here on out, there is one thing that needs to be in your brain. Well, many things, but at the forefront, you know what should be there? Anything that you're thinking about doing or not doing, you need to ask yourself, is what I'm about to do or what I'm not doing, could it result in me going to prison for life? Because that's what you're looking at, life in prison. Do you understand? All right, is there anything else you need? All right, good luck to you. You're welcome.
Your Honor, may first.
Yes.
I have a client who's not on the docket yet, 2 CM warrants. They're not assigned to the court yet. And I need a dog that so he could get with.
Judge Navarro, of course.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
If that doesn't work out, just let me know.
Thank you, Judge.
The only other person to go to would be the magistrate's court.
Okay, I'll go to Judge Nahara.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good one. Always good seeing you.
You too, Judge. Thank you.
All right, Norma, is the attorney here on Juan Torres Rivera? Norma, is the attorney here on?
No.
Okay, all right. Is there a Juan Torres Rivera? Is he in custody? All right, as soon as Deputy Laura brings him out, I'll take that up. Juan Carlos Torres Rivera. Are there any jurors in the courtroom? If there are, you need to wait outside.
Which side? Robert?
Diana, they told me that I better have one of these. Because they're like, otherwise it's not gonna go well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Stop talking back there. Yeah.
For the parties on Henry Knight. Excuse me. We're on the record. For some reason, the court reporter doesn't like people surrounding her and talking. I know why. That was a bit of sarcasm. I don't know why people do that. People always have the court reporter's error. Yeah, as their office. All right, hello, Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight, thanks for dressing appropriately for court. Court is calling 2022 CR 8435, State of Texas versus Henry Knight. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Debbie Cruz on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Defense,
Matthew Allen for Mr. Knight.
are you Mr. Knight?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Knight, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we are proceeding on a lesser included offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Knight, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial,
Yes, ma'am.
a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Knight, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, according to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. There's a $1,500 fine. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state recommends community supervision. I'm sorry, deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration NIMAC number 696-402, 696-403, County Court Cause number 701018. There's to be restitution, if any, to Marvin Trimble, TRIMBLE. Defense, if there's an issue with restitution, of course, you can ask for a restitution hearing.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that are in file, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours community service restitution, no contact with Marvin Trimble, and anger management class. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the lesser included offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, at this time, the state introducing state's exhibit number 1 and all of its attachments.
No objections.
Mr. Knight, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Have the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, just in speaking with Mr. Knight, obviously he's regretful, remorseful for the situation. But he has been determined to make sure that this obviously does not happen again. He understands the ramifications of defer, that he's getting something very beneficial to him as long as he complies with the court's conditions, then he can keep this from becoming a conviction and keep himself from going to prison. But he also understands that if he slips up once in those 10 years on deferred, that he's looking at that maximum punishment of 20 years in prison. So he is determined not to be back here again for any motions to adjudicate, and would ask the court to follow the plea bargain agreement. One thing as far as the fine, I think the state is asking for a $1,500 fine. I don't know if the court would be willing to probate any of it. I believe there will be restitution to Mr. Trimble, the victim in this case. And we'd like for Mr. Knight to focus on making sure that he repays that, but he will follow all of the court's orders, of course.
All right, and are you still with the complainant's ex-wife?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so how's that relationship working? Do they have children together, the ex-wife and the?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
2.
What are their ages? They're 2 years old? Is it twins?
No,
How many kids do you have?
no, I got one little boy, he's 2 years old.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I was like, they're 2. All right, do they live with you?
No, ma'am, I tried. You granted me permission to go see him, but the GPS lady said no.
Well, now if I order something, then it's ordered.
One minute, she said, "My daughter go to jail." That was the day of my mama's funeral.
Well, why didn't someone inform me about this? Because if I order that someone can go somewhere, they can go somewhere. All right, are we continuing with the GPS or no?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, what's the reason to continue with GPS?
Just the nature of the offense, Your Honor,
Okay.
and the fact that he reoffended while on bond.
Oh, what's the reoffense?
The TIC cases.
But the cases that we're taking into consideration,
And what are those cases?
tampering with evidence and possession of marijuana, 4 ounces to 5 pounds, and well, that's it. Those are the new offenses.
Okay. All right, when's the last time you did marijuana?
A week ago.
All right, is there anything else that's going to be in your system?
No, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court will do. Court's going to sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine that's to be probated. Take in consideration NIMAG number 696402, 696403, County Court Cause number 7011018, restitution, if any, and no contact with Marvin Trimble, anger management, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. There's to be GPS for 2 months. If there are no issues, probation, then it can be removed. And I'm going to want him tested for levels. So we'll do regular UAs. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. I'm going to want parenting classes, and we'll do field visits 1 time per month. And probation, if you want to count that field visit as his reporting, you may do so. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Judge, his son lives in Alabama. If we could just, if if he asks for prior approval, but just so that it can reflect that the court would give him permission to visit his son in Alabama.
All right. The defendant will be allowed to travel to Alabama for child custody visitation with proof. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Knight, showing you what's entitled trial court certification of oh, I'm sorry, there's also an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Mr. Knight, I'm showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
No.
All right, good luck to you. You need to work out that relationship.
Thank you.
All right. Yes. Thank you. Mario Carranza. If there are any jurors in the courtroom, you need to wait outside. Yes. All right, just have a seat. And Brittany, you'll be turning that in today?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Jan Carlos Torres Rivera. Come forward, please. Ms. Ferguson, on this case, I need a 60-day reset. Mr. Rivera, your attorney has family medical issue. So we're going to reset your case for 60 days. All right. Do you have any questions? Okay, we're going to get a date. All right. Who's here on David Newman? All right. I'm sorry, Caroline. I have a stamp for this one. Where's the prosecutor?
Your Honor, the prosecution was from the white collar division, she had to go to grand jury. This is going to be a reset for hearing. I've conferred with her. We aren't able to come to an agreement at this time.
All right, so is this contested?
It will be contested, apparently,
All right.
unless we can come to an agreement before that.
No, I mean, once I said it for contested hearing, it's contested. And what will end up happening is I will not consider, well, I mean, you all can make agreements if you want to. But once I set it for contested, it's contested.
Well, then I'd like to set it for at least another setting. They brought some files down today that we were supposed to review discovery wise.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, I need a contested setting. All right, your contested hearing is March 27th.
Your Honor, as I stated, I would appreciate if we could get another setting to be able to confer, because they just brought files down today for us to review.
All right, it's set for March 27th. If you all want to come in before then, you can come in before then. But March 27th is going to be the contested date.
Yes, Your Honor. We appreciate that.
All right, thank you. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Who's here on Gage Waller? All right, you can come forward, please. Court is calling 2022 CR 5313A, State of Texas versus Gage Lee Waller. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Jorgens for the state.
Defense?
Jacqueline Lamerson for Mr. Waller.
Are you Mr. Waller?
Yes, ma'am.
I like your shirt.
Thank you.
I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen, yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, it's a good thing you're not charged with that. Okay. All right, I'm gonna, there are no old fashioned cartoons anymore. Although those cartoons were very violent, but we didn't see it as such.
They don't even play Tom and Jerry no more.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled discovery. Did you review that? Counsel, did you review all the discovery with your client and have you received it?
I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Waller, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We waive.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're waiving paragraph B and proceeding on paragraph A.
Any objection?
None.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with burglary of a building with intent to commit theft as a state jail felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is and he was.
Mr. Waller, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Probation, there's no application in this case. Showing you what's entitled plea bargain agreement. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on paragraph A, waiving paragraph B. Punishment is to be assessed at 10 months in the state jail facility. There are no applications. They will take in consideration County Court 15, 680953. 680952, JN 2043730. There's a restitution of $3,000 under JN 2043730, payable to Caliber Collision. Okay, here's my question. We're off the record. This $3,000, it says to a Buddhist temple, but then it says Caliber Collision. I guess it Caliber Collision, the person who's already repaired it.
No, Your Honor. So Caliber Collision. So there's two different cases we're seeking restitution for. The first level is for this cause, which is the caliber collision as the victim.
Mhm.
The second level is for the cause that is getting taken into consideration, which involves a Buddhist temple.
All right, and so what is the amount payable to Caliber Collision?
I'm not personally aware of the restitution amount. There may have been potential damage to the property, but I'm not actually aware of any damage occurred because I believe they actually ducked under an open entrance. So this was just to cover our bases in case there was restitution in the course of further.
All right, because wouldn't Caliber Collision have been paid by the insurance company?
Potentially, I don't know. Judge.
Oh, yeah, I don't think Caliber Collision would do it without. Hang on, but here's, we're on the record. With regards to insurance companies, my rule is people pay their premiums and they pay it. So if there's an accident, the insurance company will pay it. I don't like this business of insurance company then coming back and getting paid twice. That's what somebody paid their premium for. As you can tell, I don't appreciate the fact that when there's a hurricane or tornado, everybody's insurance rates rise. It's like, what were you doing with all the premiums before? And I can only deal with complainants that are actual complainants. So if Caliber Collision was actually paid, the only thing he'll be responsible for is if there's a deductible.
Sure, good.
Okay. All right, did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
They're not.
Then to the offenses charged in paragraph A, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. The state offers exhibit 1, the defendant's waiver of stipulation of evidence.
No objections.
Mr. Waller, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, he was doing remodeling of travel trailers before this recent arrest, and he's got an industry he can succeed in. He just wants to move forward and put this in.
All right, anything you wish to say?
Is there any way that you can put it for me to be enrolled in GED courses when I make it to state jail?
Oh, no, you just have to ask them.
Okay.
And I saw that there was some meth in here. Are you using drugs? So how are you going to solve that problem?
By getting my education and actually moving forward with my life. Stop making excuses.
And what happened to your jaw?
I've got a tooth infection right now. So they give me antibiotics, but I'm waiting on the swelling to go down. It was so much worse yesterday.
All right, and where is your brother? What is he doing?
He signed on 2 years in a different county.
Okay. And where are your parents?
My mom is currently homeless. She lives on the street, and my dad also just went to prison.
All right, the court is going to sentence you to 10 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. Taking consideration 680-953, 680-952, JN 204-3730. There's to be restitution of any to Caliber Collision. $3,000 payable to the victim in JN 204-3730. It's I'm just gonna spell it. It's DHAMMABURHA Buddhist Temple. I don't know if that D is silent or not. All right, and if you want the therapeutic community, I'll ask for the therapeutic community. It doesn't increase the time that you're there, but they will help you with any drug issues that you may have.
Yes, ma'am, please.
All right, so, and I'm gonna ask for the therapeutic community. I can't order them to put you in there, so you'll have to request it, but they'll see that I'm recommending you for that. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
24.
Do you have children?
No, ma'am.
All right, that's a good thing, because you need to get your life together.
Yes, ma'am.
So I always tell people, when you're using drugs, you never know what you're going to get, because it's not FDA approved. People just trying to sell their product and make as much money as possible. And if you end up dying, they're like, okay, next customer.
Yeah.
You understand? All right, good luck to you.
I have one question. How long do I have to pay the restitution off?
Oh, it will be there. And if you don't pay it, they can enter on the civil side, and they can just go over there, and it'll be a determination of what amount you owe, not whether or not you owe it, because you've already agreed that you owe it.
Okay.
All right.
So how long do I have to pay it though?
Your attorney will speak to you about that. All right, John Wesley Deber, Dever.
More Your Honor.
If there are any jurors in the courtroom, you need to wait outside. And after Dever, we have Vega. All right, what is happening with this case?
Morning, Your Honor. I believe it's a first setting. We have discovery. I reviewed it with my client. We have an offer. I'd like one setting to determine what he'd like to do with it. And go from there.
And Judge, I have the full defense that we'll keep the offer open one more setting.
Okay, thank you. And so you have all discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Can I have a 30-day reset, please? It's just for a plea deadline date. That's mighty stretched out.
You said 30 days?
Yes, or can we put it sometime in March? Like at the end of March or mid-March? All right, so we're gonna come back on March 28th. March 28th is gonna be your plea deadline date. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. All right, after that date, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And could I see the parties on Vega? All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 6408, State of Texas versus Fabian Vega. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Roger Jimenez.
And are you Fabian Vega?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review with your client?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Vega, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you understand it?
yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Vega, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of murder? The range of punishment for that offense is 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If the state proves up the repeater enhancement paragraph, your range of punishment will be 15 years to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have an agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Vega, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
Oh, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
Oh, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, you're to agree that you've been previously convicted of a felony for enhancement purposes. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 25 years. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration 2020 CR 6409, night bag number 686664, county court cause number 674688. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
There have not, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No conflict.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit number 1 with all its attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Vega, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments to the to the repeater paragraph that reads, and it is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above on the 18th day of January AD 2018 and cause number 2017-1448C2 in McLennan County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the felony of assault of public servant. How do you plead? True or not true?
True.
All right, court will review states exhibits 1 and attachments. All right, can we go off the record for a moment? Can you mute us, please?
Yes. Well, when say it's the number one, added, our country. No objection to the
All right, and do y'all want,
I think that's just numbers that are associated with photos that are part of the things, but I can invite that out. Thanks. Just a lot quicker than printing it out.
oh, no problem.
The defense counsel didn't have any objections to that work.
Okay. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court will issue a judge's warrant and remand you without bond. We're going to come back on April 10th, and at that time, I'll make a decision on your application. So we'll PSI. And you can tell them to go ahead and do a TAP evaluation as well. I just want an entire view of you so I can make a decision on punishment. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about anything? All right, we'll see you back on April 10th.
Thank you.
Thank you. We still have the squeaky door. All right, are you guys ready on Chevalier?
Yes, Judge.
All right, you need to have the clerk pull the file because otherwise I won't get it. All right, Arthur Beacham. Where's Mr. Beacham? All right, thank you. All right, so I know we're here with the evaluation. Where are we on that?
Yes, Judge. It was conducted on February 15th via Zoom, and he was present with the doctor, Dr. Marshall.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for the doctor to tender his findings in the form of a report to defense counsel and to, I believe, Judge Carruthers' support.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Beacham, could you give me a 45-day reset on this? Because that's usually how long it takes for them to put everything in the system.
Yes, Your Honor. And we also wanted to request the court's time just briefly in regards to his bond condition, Your Honor. Previously, you amended his bond condition from.
Have you conferred with the state on this?
Yes, Judge, I have.
Okay, and what do they want to do?
They would be in agreement to track him only with a curfew, if Your Honor allowed it, also with no contact or in the vicinity of the complaining witness. He's been on full house arrest for 6 months now with no issues. Just being at home fully confined there is taking some toll on his mental health. He does have some mental health issues that he is receiving services with True Mental Health. They see him twice a week. He wants leave to go to the gym, to go to the park, and to do things more leisurely to benefit his mental health. He's been a good candidate on the conditions.
What's the curfew?
The state was in agreement with 9 p.m. Your Honor.
What hours?
I believe from 7 a.m. 9 p.m.
State, do you have any objections to the 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.?
No, Your Honor, as long as even outside of the curfew hours, he's not permitted to go near the victim.
Who's the complainant?
Tyreek Savon,
Okay.
but I can spell it for the court.
Oh, it should be an indictment.
Yes.
All right. State, if you want to sign off on the motion. Ms. Ferguson, what's the date?
I can do.
All right, we'll be back on April 10th. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Yes, Your Honor. Upon executing that, may we be excused?
Yes,
Thank you.
and thanks for dressing appropriately for court. You always do, though.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
The parties on Robert Sanchez.
Yes, Your Honor, that's my client as well.
All right, Mr. Sanchez.
Judge, with regard to Mr. Sanchez, he was not here at the docket call. His wife did come in and said he's at the Haven for Hope Detox Center. This is an individual that has been struggling with some substance abuse issues. He is charged with possession, does have a history of possession. So she did tell me in good faith that she came here to the court, so she wanted to notify me and the court as well that he is at the detox center. Judge, would you like to bring her up?
Well, no, I mean, you need to call Haven for Hope.
Okay. Let me call Haven and try to get some documentation.
All right.
This has been a swamp morning, Judge, but I'll get on that.
All right, thank you. No problem. Who's here on Jose Perez?
Your Honor, compliance hearing.
All right, just give me a moment on Mr. Perez. Jose Romo.
Ready, Your Honor.
Okay. It's always great seeing you, Mr. Jimenez.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right, the court is calling 2016 CR 5254, State of Texas versus Jose Romo. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Yes, Your Honor, Ruben Herrera for the state.
Tony Menace for Mr. Rowland.
Are you Mr. Romo?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Jose Romo who's placed on deferred adjudication for sexual assault on January 30, 2017 for a period of 5 years and extended for a total of 1 year? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Your Honor, at this time, we'd be proceeding on violation of condition number 16C. That on or about the 9th of January 2023 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Jose Romo did then and there fail to submit it at his own expense to clinical polygraph in violation of condition number 16C.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State.
Your Honor, well, we did come to a.
Well, are you waiving the remaining of the
Yes,
violation?
we would waive the other three violations.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Romo, did you understand by pleading true to violation 16C, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of 16C?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find 16C true. Is there an agreement?
Your Honor, there's a recommended agreement that in exchange for the defendant's plea of true as a violation of number 16C, that the motion enter adjudication of guilt be denied, that the defendant be extended for 1 year on deferred adjudication with a 30-day status check as to the defendant's re-entry into the sex offender program and status as to the clinical polygraph that remains outstanding.
Is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Romo, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jose Romo.
All right, why are you not doing the polygraph?
At the moment, ma'am, I didn't have any money, so I didn't have any money.
So when is, how much is the polygraph?
$250, but apparently I'm gonna have to pay that and then another $250 to take it. So $500 now.
All right, why is it $500?
According to the polygrapher, since didn't have the money and I wasn't able to take it at that time, if I want to retake it with them, they're still gonna charge me that $250.
For not showing up?
Correct.
Is there another polygraph person who can do this?
Yeah, I could double check.
All right, we'll see if it can be another polygraph. I mean, what is this? You call within is this like a doctor's visit where you need a 24-hour appointment to counsel? We'll see if we can get someone else to do it other than that person. All right. All right, thanks. And you have a second motion to revoke as well.
Yes, Your Honor, there is another case that there is a pending, more than a revoke pending, and we extend the same offer on that. Judge.
All right, do you want to withdraw that motion in that case?
We can withdraw it.
All right, so they're gonna withdraw the motion in the other case. Caroline, in that second case for Mr. Romo, they're just gonna withdraw the motion. All right, so the court is finding 16C true. Court will extend you for 1 year. What is the length of time for him to do the re-entry? How long would that take probation in the program?
I will have to check on that. If the unit works a little bit different, or I'll need to check on that.
All right, so I'm just gonna put re-entry into the program and probation. If they give you a specific date for when he can re-enter and when he needs to report, that will be the date that you're gonna re-enter and report. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so there's gonna be re-entry into the program and polygraph. And see if we can find somebody else to do the polygraph. And counsel, if we can't find somebody else to do the polygraph, then just set this on the docket. Because I'm gonna figure out why they charging $500 for a
Yes,
polygraph. All right, is there anything else that's needed from either side?
Nothing to say.
Probation, is there anything else that's needed with him? I'm not the person who took this plea originally. This is before my time. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, it's good seeing you.
Good seeing you, Judge.
You
Have a
too.
good week.
You too. All right, who's here on Abel Gutierrez?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, come forward.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. Where's your client? All right, court is calling 2023 CR 0221 State of Texas versus Abel Gutierrez. Can our parties announce for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Stephen Harkowitz.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:31 a.m. The defendant has not made an appearance in the courtroom. Deputy Laura, was Mr. Gutierrez called?
Yes, he was, Your Honor, if you denied.
All right, defense, have you had any contact with your client?
Not with him directly. I've had contact with his mother and she tells me she doesn't know where he's at.
All right, Caroline, do you know if this is a PR bond? All right, thank you.
I believe it is, Your Honor.
All right, state.
I think it's a personal revocation of that PR bond, Your Honor.
All right, court will issue a judge's warrant. Remand your client without bond. If your client makes an appearance, then the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you.
May I be excused?
Yes. Carlos Romero. Carlos Romero. All right, we're scheduled for jury trial. Hey, your t-shirt is fitting for jury trial. Rich drugs onlys with a Z. And then the I eat, which is inappropriate in court, and high in. All right, we'll see you in jury trial. That's what he'll be wearing. I'm sure the jury will be impressed. All right, thank you. Robert Chevalier.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2020 CR 3796, State of Texas versus Robert Chevalier. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Defense?
Jennifer Zarka from Mr. Chevalier.
And are you Mr. Chevalier? All right, you entered a plea to aggravated sexual assault of a child on October 20, 2022. You entered a plea of no contest. According to the plea bargaining agreement, you all need to whisper in the box. According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state is asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 15 years. The state is silent on your application. And of course, there's no contact with the complainants in Chapter 62 registration. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the state is silent. Are there witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may call your first witness.
Thank you, Judge. I would call Pastor Tim Stoker.
All right, Mr. Stoker, could you come forward, please? Jennifer. All right, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that court reporter can hear you. If you could state your name for the record, please.
My name is Timothy Stoker.
All right, and how do you spell your last name?
Stoker.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Pastor Stoker, and where are you currently employed?
I am pastor at Living Water Fellowship in Pleasanton, Texas.
And is that how you know Mr. Chevalier?
I do know him as a member of our church.
Okay, and how often does he attend church?
We have services regularly twice a week. He attends those almost always, sometimes with special meetings 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay, so is it fair to say he's a faithful parishioner?
Very much so.
Okay, and you know I work here today. It's a sentencing, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you just hear the court read the charge?
I did.
Okay, so you understand what he has pled to in this case, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so I'm asking you today, is it your opinion if the court were to grant his application for deferred community supervision, is it your opinion that he could be successful on that?
I do believe so.
And why?
I am watching him over, been a member of our congregation since around 2015. And because of his good rapport, we have seen no signs of anything that would indicate that he has had any inappropriate contact or behavior with children in our congregation, which we do take seriously. And as far as communicating with him personally, I do believe that he is pursuing his faith, his relationship with God. And I believe that that contact and communication, he would be a good candidate for probation.
Is your congregation a supportive environment?
It is a close community. We're not a large congregation, so we're pretty close knit as a spiritual family and community.
And do you believe that continued participation in your congregation would benefit him should the court allow him to be on a deferred community supervision?
I do believe so.
And is there anything else that you would want the court to know today to help her make her decision?
I would say that as a minister, of course, I believe that we all need spiritual guidance and assistance in our life. Robert has shown a humility, a desire to pursue that, to engage with us through this time. I do see him seeking the Lord, and I believe his righteousness as well.
In your congregation, again, should the court grant this, would there always be supervision were any children around at the church at services?
Yes.
So there would not be opportunity for him to be alone with children.
We are very diligent and try to be very diligent in our campus community, as well as even our small group gatherings.
And so, once again, could you give the court your opinion? Do you believe that time in custody or time on a deferred probation would better serve Mr. Chevalier and the community?
I believe as far as us ministering to him with his spiritual desires and need, his faith would be better served to be able to be on probation and be engaged with me as his pastor, the other leadership of the church, as well as the congregation.
And as a pastor, would you commit to assisting him should he be given the opportunity for it?
Absolutely.
And if not, just say the judge decides to go a different way, would you still commit to supporting him?
I will.
No further questions, Judge?
Any questions?
Briefly, Pastor, are you aware that some of the allegations in this case are directed back to meeting the victims at church?
In my congregation,
It just at a church.
at a church, I did attend church with him previous to him being a member of my congregation before I was pastor there. So, yes, I am aware of that knowledge in that context.
Okay, and how long have you been aware of the charges?
Since he called me from the arrest from the Warrants.
No further questions.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in and thank you for the work that you do. All right, defense, call your next witness.
I would call James Valdez, Judge.
Could you raise your hand for me, please?
Yes,
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is James Valdez.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Valdez, how do you know Mr. Chevalier?
I know him from church. We've been friends for approximately 12 to 13 years.
And so, and again, you know why you're here today.
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
And so I'm gonna ask you some of the same questions. Do you believe that Mr. Chevalier and the community would be better served with prison time or a deferred community supervision?
Deferred community supervision is the best route for him.
And
And the reason being is that he's already been out. He's not done anything, to the best of my knowledge, anything wrong. He's lived a good life. He's done well. We talk all the time. We hang out for Bible study. Everything he says is good. We never talk about anything bad or wrong or anything in that nature. We usually we're encouraging each other, prayer, reading the word.
so is your relationship, did it come from your church community?
Well, it started there, and then we still just kept it going for all these years. I've known him since Valley High, and ever since he's moved out to the country, we've been just friends for a long time. And I've known his kids from just forever. I mean, since they were like small and stuff, and so it's been really loving. And I tell you what, I love his wife. The family are very nice.
Do you believe that his family is a supportive environment for him should the court grant a deferred community supervision?
Oh, very much so. The family's wonderful. Everybody.
And you talked about him. Do you believe there would be any safety issues for the community should the court grant the community supervision?
There's no safety issues at all. I've never known Robert to be, to be an issue in that area at all. He's always been safe, he's been kind, he's always helpful,
Do you believe he's a productive member of society?
very much so.
And he called you an accountability. Would you tell the court what that means?
Well, in terms of accountability courts, we are accountable to each other. I mean, we read the word, we go through questions, we ask about our families, how we're doing in terms of reading the Bible, living our lives, how we're doing within the community, what have you. And so we really are focused on trying to live a good life. And we've been doing this for years.
And so should he be granted the deferred community supervision, would you be supportive of him in that venture?
Oh, very much so.
And do you believe he could complete it successfully?
Oh, very much so.
And is there anything else you want the court to know today before she makes her decision?
Well, I've known Robert for 12 to 13 years, and it's been wonderful. And I love his family. They've been really good. I mean, even knowing his parents until they passed, just wonderful. They've been kind. They help others in the community, and they are really involved and I only have known them as doing a lot of volunteer work and doing a lot of caring for others. Literally.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No.
All right, thank you so much for coming in and giving me more information about him.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. You can call your next witness.
One further witness, Judge, I would call Jennifer Chevalier.
All right, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, so you can lower your hand. I'm gonna need you to speak up because the court reporter is trying to hear.
Oh, okay.
All right, and to make it easier, because I think your voice is low, if you can move right there.
Right here?
Yes,
Okay.
no, a little bit closer.
Okay.
Thank you, right there.
Okay.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
I'm Jennifer Chevalier.
All right, you may ask your questions.
Thank you, Judge. And how do you know Robert?
Well, I've been married to Robert for 21 years and we've known each other 22.
And how many children do you have?
We have two. We have my stepson and then we have our son together.
And how old are your children?
26 and 20.
And are they here today?
Yeah.
Both your sons are here in the gallery, is that right?
And his wife and his fiance.
Okay. And so is it fair to say there are quite a few supporters here for Robert today?
Yes, his brother's here too.
Okay. And so the family that's here, do you believe if the court were to grant the deferred supervision, do you think the family would be supportive of Robert?
Yes.
And do you think everyone in the family would assist him in getting through the requirement of such a probation?
Yes.
And as his wife, you may be a little biased, but do you believe Robert could successfully complete that?
Yes, I do.
And tell the court why.
Oh, well, my husband, I've been by his side all this time, and I know that he is a man of character. I know he loves me. I know he loves God. I know that he would do it for me and for God, that he would want to do the right thing, because he's always wanting to help people. And that's how this situation happened. But anyway, that we want to help people and love people. I think he wants to make a difference.
And with terms of a community supervision like this, there is some intensive therapy and things required. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Right. And so knowing that, do you believe that Robert would be committed to doing those things?
Yes.
And do you believe a deferred community supervision is a better way to treat this than sending him to prison? And tell the court why.
Well, he would have the support of his church and me, that I would help him work through whatever issues maybe he may be struggling with. He also has some health issues. I think if he were in prison, he would decline. He has a heart and lung issues. That's my main concern with that. I don't think that would be a supportive environment.
With his health issues, does he regularly seek medical care?
Oh, yes.
And so does he, how frequently would you say he seeks medical attention?
Well, he has a cardiologist who he sees, I think, every 6 months. And he has a pulmonologist that he was seeing. And he's on a CPAP machine. And then he uses inhalers and nebulizers.
Right, and so today, can you tell the court that you believe he would successfully complete a deferred community supervision should she grant it?
Yes.
And you're fully confident of that?
Yes.
Is there anything else you want the court to know today before she makes the decision?
That I love my husband very much. And I'm just gonna try to be there for him and support him in whatever faculties that he needs. Whatever it takes, whatever it's obviously it's in your hands, so it's whatever you grant for him. I think that that he and I will work through this together with God's help.
Any questions?
Just briefly, you said you've been married for 21 years. When did you start dating before you got married?
We started dating. February. I have a bad memory. We dated for a year before we got married.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Was it here in Bear County?
Yes.
Oh, Pasadena, Michigan.
Well, no, in Temple. In Temple, Texas.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Yes.
that's okay. That's okay. It was in Temple. Okay, thank you. I'll pass that.
All right, thank you so much for coming and giving me some more insight. Thank you. Any other witnesses?
Mr. Chevalier, is there anything that you would want to say to the court? And before you say it, the court would have to swear you in.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Robert Chevalier.
Okay. What would you like to say to the court?
I believe that I can I will complete every aspect of probation if granted. I'm at your mercy. And I just pray that you give me very soon that we have this opportunity to redirect my path.
Okay. All right, I have a couple of questions for you. How old were the complainants in this case?
One he was a year older than my son, and I think he was like 14 or 15.
The other?
7 or 8.
All right. So with regards to the 7 or 8 year old, I've read the PSI report. I would like to know, what were you thinking when you were kissing the 7-year-old?
I'm not exactly sure what I was thinking. I just know I was in a downward spiral with stress.
So were you doing it to relieve stress?
Possibly.
All right. And if you were doing that to relieve stress, did you do the same with your child and your stepchild?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
They're my boys.
Oh, okay. But these were 2 complainants that your wife testified to that you were helping.
Right.
All right. And then one of them said that you asked them if you could kiss their penis. What were you thinking when you were asking them that?
I don't think I was thinking, Your Honor.
And according to what I've read, and I always read the PSI report, and I always read the plea agreement and the stipulations, that this was going on for a period of time. Right?
That's right.
So each time these children were invited to your home or asked to come to your home, were you getting excited at the prospect of touching them?
No.
So how did you formulate? Okay, these 2 boys come over to your house. I'm assuming they want to play with your boys. They're spending the night or whatever they're doing. When did you make the decision that you were going to kiss the penis, kissing them, I'm assuming in the mouth with your tongue? When did that formulate in your mind that you're going to do this? And what were your other children doing at the time, your stepson and your other son?
I'm not really sure how to answer that, Your Honor. All I know is I was not in my right mind, basically. I wasn't thinking.
But how are you not thinking?
I wasn't thinking about the consequences of what.
But no, I'm like, how are you not thinking about these two children because they're not your biological children, but you're thinking about your biological children and your stepchild as these are my children, so I'm not going to touch them to put them through that trauma. I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from so I can make an informed decision on whether or not I should send you to prison.
I don't know how to answer that.
All right, because what I'm reading here, it says, while in his friend's home, the defendant would attempt to kiss him, but he would always walk away or move his head. On one occasion, the defendant grabbed his arm after he exited the bathroom and attempted to kiss him. On some occasions, the defendant was able to kiss him on the lips by grabbing his chin and holding the back of his neck. The defendant would also attempt to place the defendant's hand inside of his pants, but he was able to stop this by tightening his belt. The defendant only touched the side of his thigh outside of his underwear. The defendant also pinched him when he was wearing pajamas. And of course, it goes on and on about you rubbing his buttocks, grabbing his buttocks. He believes this because he said the defendant also attempted to kiss his buttocks and penis. He believes this because the defendant would be on his knees in front of him and attempt to pull down his pants. So here's my question for you. I know you want deferred adjudication, but why should I give you deferred adjudication?
I believe I can do better.
Well, I mean, everybody over there in the box believes they can do better.
And I want to be able to give to the community I've taken, and I want to be able to give and to be able to serve and to just be a better member of society.
And what trauma do you think you've caused the complainants in this case? How do you think they're doing today?
I pray they're doing good, but I don't know.
Oh,
I'm sure they have some issues.
okay. Any questions to Vince?
You said you want to do better. Can you tell the court you would proactively do anything that's asked of you on a community supervision should it be granted?
Absolutely.
Any counseling?
Any counseling, anything.
And would you seek the help of all the people that are here to support you today?
Absolutely.
And is anything like this ever going to happen again?
No.
That's all. And are you asking the court to grant your application for deferred community supervision?
Yes, I am asking for it.
No further questions.
State.
Mr. Chevalier, how long was your probation in your previous case?
5 years.
And who was the victim in that case?
It was a Boy Scout.
No further questions.
Just very briefly, were you also a Boy Scout at the time?
Yes, sir.
And there was some 4 or 5 years age difference, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you were also a Boy Scout at the time?
Yes.
No further questions, Judge.
All right, anything else?
There you go.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court's going to find you guilty, sentence you to 15 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money run concurrent. There's to be no contact with the complainants or the complainant's family. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. And the chapter 62 registration is for life. All right, good luck to you. Thank you, Ms. Zarka. Who's here on Jose Perez? All right. Yes, where's Jose Perez?
I don't represent him, Judge.
All right, come forward, Mr. Perez. All right, Mr. Perez, you are here for compliance, I believe. Everyone, make sure your phone is off, please. All right, So you have not been doing what you're supposed to be doing. You've been missing your submission for UAs.
I've been calling the UA hotline and it's been telling me not to take the drug test. And I don't know if Ty said he was gonna talk to you about to fix it to where it'll be able to say yes or no or yes. Because every time I called it, it'll always say no. And I'll get confused.
No, because I mean, it will tell you no, and then it will tell you yes. So when you drug tested today, what are the results going to be? Because you're getting a UA today.
Okay.
Yeah, what are the results going to be?
I know I had drink alcohol.
Why are you drinking alcohol? It's not
It
allowed.
was party gathering. I didn't only took one sip and that was it.
All right, what else?
That's pretty much it.
All right, we're going to do a UA today.
Your Honor, I looked in the UA, the recovery healthcare system, and it does state in there that there's like no scheduled testing for him.
Mhm.
So there may be a little glitch there. I'm gonna fix it before he leaves.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to get a UA today, and then she's going to fix the glitch in the system.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And anybody who's having a party around you and letting you drink alcohol, even though you're an adult, if they're trying to push that off on you, they're not your friends. Because you could end up going to prison, you understand?
Yes, ma'am. That's why I moved from the situation I was in. I moved to a different address and everything.
Okay.
Right now, I'm doing a little bit better.
All right, thank you. And thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, so they're gonna fix that for you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Can I have a copy for work?
You'll just have to let them know that you had to come to court.
Okay.
All right, you're welcome. Yes,
This is a case of separated. We'll review this.
okay. Yes.
That's on the document.
Okay, thank you. Let me see, sorry.
Judge, my approach?
Just a moment. Here we go. Is this new? Okay. Just give us a moment. I'll call you up.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yes, there is. A Darren Parker.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, and can I see the file on Darren Parker, please? All right, hello, Mr. Parker.
Hey, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. So we're here on a compliance hearing. Let me see. All right, so Mr. Parker, this is what you need to understand. You cannot just leave the county without the court's permission. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you need to get back to Bear County.
The thing about that, I have no to go. My probation officer, I guess she's supposed to tell y'all that I've been in full communication with my probation officer, my class, her supervisor and everything. I have no family in Texas starting off with, and I just have no other place in Bear County to go.
So I don't understand why you think you can just up and leave Bear County without the court's permission.
No, ma'am, I didn't. I mean, I reached out to my probation officer. I didn't want to, I didn't even want to leave. I asked for permission. I talked to her supervisor and she basically said, I mean, right now, I just don't have no other, I didn't want to disrespect courts or anything like that. I'm here. I'm in the courtroom, I respect you fully. I just, at this point, I tried to get a transfer back to Virginia. That failed. I don't know, like,
All right,
I'm really in a,
just 1 second. When can we recall this and have his probation officer by Zoom?
His probation officer is actually on standby. Would you like me to get her to log in?
Yes. All right, just give us a moment, Mr. Parker.
yes, ma'am.
I'm going to place you in the waiting room and we'll bring you back. Isaiah Gonzalez. All right, what's happening with this case?
Your Honor, Isaiah Gonzalez has been offered a plea
Well,
bargain.
okay, and is he accepting it or not?
He has rejected it, Your Honor, and he's asking for trial.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a jury trial date? How long is this going to last?
Probably 4 or 5 days. Really.
All right. All right, we're going to come back April 11th for your jury trial date. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Jimenez, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, let the court know and we'll see if we can help expedite that for you. You'll need to sign a clothing exchange for your counsel. If that's not done, what's going to happen is you'll be brought over for trial dressed in whatever clothing you have at the jail. All right.
Take care of it.
Thank you.
Maybe excuse you.
Yes. Who's here for Robert Sanchez? Robert Sanchez. All right, who's here for Starlin Rodriguez? Court is calling 2022 CR 7826B, State of Texas versus Starlin Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the court?
Hector Groza Jr. for the defense.
Are you Starlin Rodriguez? Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
We have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do wait.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we are proceeding on paragraph A and waiving paragraph B.
Any objection?
No objection.
Showing you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with burglary of a building with intent to commit theft? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yeah,
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I feel she does.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I feel that she is and was.
Ms. Rodriguez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on paragraph A. There's a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's restitution, if any, to Michael McLaughlin. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
None.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. I'm sorry, 2 years. That there be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service, restitution, and no contact with Michael McLaughlin, and a drug education course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to paragraph A in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
At this time, the state introduces State's Exhibit number 1 and all of its attachments, Your Honor.
No objections to the defense.
Ms. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, off the record, state, you may be excused because I know you all have other cases.
Thank you.
All right, we're back on the record. Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
All right, do you?
I do.
Yes.
Only because, Judge, in this particular case, we said a few times as we were trying to get the restitution figure sorted out, there were some collateral issues that I felt would perhaps complicate the issue of restitution. There was a co-defendant that has already taken a plea, but yet despite many of my suggestions, my client merely wanted to enter the plea bargain, allow for the restitution to be determined by probation, and she was fully prepared to pay whatever restitution there is, in spite of what may be contended by the victim, and in spite of what her co-defendant may or may not pay. Admirable that she took on and is willing to take on the full responsibility of that, despite my suggestion that we should probably get a more definitive number.
All right. So why are you taking things that don't belong to you?
It was hard times at the time.
Everybody has hard
Yeah.
time, but they don't
So-
steal.
It was a lesson learned though. Guys, for doing it for the first time, it was something that I would never do again.
Are you employed?
Yes,
What do you do?
I work at Bill Miller's,
All right, what do you serve at Bill Miller's?
barbecue.
Okay, should I try the barbecue?
It's pretty good, yeah.
Is it very good though?
Yes, it's
Okay.
very good.
All right, do you have any children?
Yes, I have one.
How old?
He's 3.
Does he live with you?
He just with me and my mom. Yeah.
All right, so mom is pulling some heavy lifting.
Yeah.
All right, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And before you answer, you're going to get drug tested.
Okay, they're gonna be playing.
Okay, this is what the court is going to do. 2 years deferred adjudication, $1,500 fine probated, restitution if any, and no contact with Michael McLaughlin, and no contact with John Perez, drug education course, 150 hours community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to do that, but if you do with booster, 40 hours will be waived. Parenting classes, the remaining of the community service hours will be waived once you complete parenting classes. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. If all works out, probation, then you can discontinue field visits. There's to be regular UAs. Probation, is there anything else she needs? All right, they didn't ask for a theft class, but here's the theft class. Don't take what doesn't belong to you. And as a side note, if somebody invites you to their home and they ask you to leave, leave. If somebody invites you somewhere and +1 is not in the invitation, don't go. And nothing good happens after 12 a.m. Even if you're at your house, sometimes nothing good happens to your house at 12 a.m. either, because that means you have insomnia and you're up. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Yes. All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Yes, ma'am. All right, we can go off the record. You have a son. You need to make sure that he is proud of you. He can't be proud of his mom if his mom is going around breaking into homes, okay? All right, good luck to you. Thank you. Yes. Sure. All right, no problem. Who's here on Jesus Fraga? All right, what is happening with Jesus Fraga?
So we're wanting a trial setting, Your Honor. I've already confirmed this.
All right, Mr. Fraga, come down.
Oh. It's.
All right, have you received all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and has an offer been tendered?
I don't believe so, actually, or maybe the husband she's shaking her head, but my co-counsel is actually meeting with the victim on this case right now.
Okay, well, just have a seat. We'll come back.
He's here now.
Oh, okay.
In the middle. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know, every court is different.
So has an offer been tendered?
An offer has not been tendered, Your Honor. We just spoke with the victim in this case, so I just wanted to take one more status day to review it, and I sent an offer to counsel.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Fraga? All right, we'll be back on March 28th. At that time, the state will need to tender an offer, and you all can confer off docket. Thank you, Mr. Fraga.
Thank you.
Mario Miranda. Counsel, do you have all the discovery in this case?
No, ma'am.
All right, what discovery is missing? And you need to be on that side.
The discovery that I need, Judge, I've been told by the Assistant District Attorney that.
All right, could you not stand on that, please? Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's okay. So what discovery don't you have?
Some letters or something that were,
The victim
Provided.
came to our office last week and brought some materials, and including police report, reference numbers that we need to a chance to look into.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset, please? All right, we're going to come back on March 28th for discovery. Ms. Ferguson will give you your reset form and then you're excused.
thank you, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's here? Melissa Castaneda.
Go and talk to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just adding syllables.
just like it's pronounced, just like it's spelled.
Hey,
No, I had a friend named, last name was Turiani, he'd go play somewhere. And they said, how do you say it? I said, just like it's spelled.
yeah. All right, what's happening with this case?
Judge,
Because today is the plea
we
deadline.
conferred and we were offered a felony pretrial
Well,
diversion.
Okay,
So
all
we're going to do that.
all right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a date for PTD?
April 6th.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, we'll give you a reset form.
All right.
Thank you. Glenn's been for, okay. Yes. All right, thank you. Joel Cabrera. Joel Cabrera. All right, so there's an issue. All right, they're saying that your address is not a good address. So have you,
No, I was called the week of they sent officers to my house. I've lived in the address. I was told I keep in contact with my probation officer through emails and everything. I told her that I was stuck in Dallas. I work out of town a lot of the time now that the work's slowing down. So I'm out of town a lot. And I told her that, but they had just switched my probation officer to some new lady. And my own probation officer was aware of that. The last couple ones were aware.
when you drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I did drink Saturday, but it was because of my uncle's passing. But I drank a little bit of wine with them.
So when you drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Not just alcohol.
Okay, all right, we're going to do a drug test today. And then,
And I was aware they tried to, he was trying to, because I asked her if I was able to talk to the judge. She said, well, that was set up with compliance, and that's when they set this up. Because she tried to extend my probation to September, I believe. And I wanted to know if I'm able just to pay the fees off already. If it
well,
would
just
be-
then pay your fees.
And then.
But we're going to do a drug test today. And Ms. Ferguson, on this case, I want to recall the, let me see. Can you recall this, March 21st? All right, we're going to come back on March 21st to see where you are. Do not miss any appointments if you expect the court not to extend you. Do you understand? So, and you said you're going to make his payments, so we'll go from there.
My father told me I want me to pay the payments off because I haven't been having help like here. We're trying to move right now because we're having problems with the house we're staying at with my mom. That's why I've been back and forth trying to work as much as I can.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah, just sit there. Robert Sanchez.
Yes, Your Honor, we're present.
All right, come forward. Have you received an offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is he accepting the offer?
Judge, I don't believe he's in the right state of mind at this moment. I just got him from the detox center at CHCS. They were having some issues getting us some documentation. So he's gonna go back into detox. I just wanted to present him to the court to avoid any potential bond issues or warrant. So I believe his intent is to go back to the detox center for next week. And then I'm gonna go ahead and speak about him with the offer. I gave him my work cell as well as my office address. So we're gonna speak about those issues, Judge. He's currently in detox, not in good shape right now. So we would just, out of respect to the court, wanted to bring him forth, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Fergus, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Sanchez? All right, we'll come back on March 30th, and you may want to talk to felony drug court to see about the detox situation.
Yes, Judge. Hopefully they're not all full.
All right, thank you.
Back to the detox center right now. Thanks, sir.
John Ramirez. John Anthony Ramirez.
All right, man.
My understanding, you had some witnesses?
Yep, Judge, I only have one that can get here today. We've been in contact with the Center for Healthcare Services and we have signed his consent to release medical records. But they're saying it's gonna take 2 weeks to get those records and as well as get a witness here.
All right, Ms. Fergus, can you recall this for 2 weeks so you can get your witness and your medical records?
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
All right. All right, March 7th, that will be the last reset date.
Yeah, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Who's here on Darren Parker? Oh, we're still waiting. No. Okay, and Caroline, on Robert Sanchez, he has more cases than just that one. Ms. Fergus, can you make sure all of his cases stay together? Oh, just one? Okay. I'm probably reading it incorrectly. All right, and where is the Kamar Simpson? All right, could I see the file on Kamar Simpson, please? All right, thank you. Court is calling 2022 CR 2034, 2022 CR 2035, 2022 CR 9684, State of Texas versus Kamar Simpson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Beerhand, Your Honor.
Defense is not present. All right, what the court has on its docket sheet is November 15th. It said that the defendant was in Wally County Jail. Is there any update on that?
I don't have any update from Judge. I can look into it, but I don't have any update at this point.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, we'll recall it for tomorrow and tell that attorney, well, I'm sorry, recall it for Thursday and tell that attorney he needs to be present. And if it's not present without good cause, we'll have some issues. All right, could I see the file on Lockhart? And where is Mr. Lockhart?
Chardonnay Lockhart, she is not here.
Okay. Oh, I do. Yes, court is calling 2022 CR 3597, State of Texas versus Chardonnay Lockhart. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
For the defense?
Andrew Fraley from Miss Lockhart.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 12:27 p.m. The defendant is not present. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
Okay.
All right, the court shows that as of July, there was supposed to be some status on the psychological evaluation, and the evaluation was then completed, and a report was due on November 14th. And then the attorney at that time was Barry Hitchens, and it was rescheduled for November 29th. Have you been in touch with magistrate court?
I have the copy of the psychological evaluation.
All right, and what are the results?
She is competent to stand trial.
Okay. All right. Is there any chance you're able to get your client here or no?
If there was, Judge, I would have tried to do it by now.
Okay.
I've tried her bondsman, whoever the bondsman was, and I tried again her bondsman. She has a misdemeanor case pending, Judge. She didn't report to that court date either. So I have not had any contact, but I've made multiple efforts.
All right, Deputy Laura, was there announcement for Ms. Lockhart?
Yes, there was no not answer.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state for a bond forfeiture.
All right, that will be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mario Carranza.
Your Honor, that case was dismissed.
All right, thank you. Benny Santos. All right. Abel Gutierrez. I think we already did that one, correct?
Yes, you have a judge's warrant.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. May I approach
Yes.
on Mr. Parker? It appears that Miss Parker, who is the CSO, is away from her desk.
Okay.
And she's been away. And I couldn't reach her by phone. Can we recall it for either tomorrow or Thursday?
Yes. Mr. Parker?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I want to make sure that your probation officer is here so there won't be any miscommunication issues. So we're going to recall your case and we'll recall it for Ms. Ferguson, are we able to put this on Friday? Is that enough time? All right, Ms. Ferguson, can we move this to Friday? Oh, no, I take that back, you know.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll have to recall it for tomorrow. So we'll recall it tomorrow.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
And it'll be by Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Say all of the.
Can you get that?
Oh, get her to sign this. I'll do it. Thanks, man.
All right, so I think the only one we have left is the trial case with Mr. Cox. And is that Carlos Romero?
Yes.
Okay. All right, could I see Benny Santos, please? No. Oh, I've already signed this on January 13th.
I was wondering if there was one. I didn't see it in there.
Well, it says here, on January, it said CPS records were given. So somebody already has them. All right. So Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Benny Santos? All right, March 30th, we're going to come back to make sure that all discovery is had on both sides.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right,
I've been
thank-
on the case for 4 months. I'd ask you to review or invite you to review the bond issue. He's been in constant custody, unable to make a $75,000 bond. I'd ask that he be interviewed and determined for a PR. Well, can't do a PR, but a bond reduction with a monitor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you have him evaluated for PR bond?
Thank you, Your Honor. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. All right, court is going to call 2023 CR 0223, State of Texas versus Melvin Hernandez.
Sorry.
Can I have parties approach for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense is not present. This hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 12:32 p.m. The defendant has not made an appearance in court. Deputy Laura, was there Melvin Hernandez called in the hallway?
Yes, Your Honor, he didn't answer.
All right, state.
State's requesting a bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
All right, the court will issue a judge's warrant and remand him without bond. If he makes an appearance, the court will reconsider. All right, thank you.
Oh. Your Honor, Mr. Cabrera Well, his UA was negative.
Oh, that is,
So to come back on the 21st.
yes, I'm so happy for that. All right, and we finished with Mr. Fraga. Mario Miranda has been completed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Fraga is done. Okay, then. We're on recess. And the jury is coming back at 1:30. Yes? Yes, you need to be back at 1:30 and the jury will be here at 1:30. You're welcome.